Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. This is a special Street News Now report with my good friend and brother, Mayor Alsberry. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today, Dr. Ron? How are you doing?
Good, doing good. So
Good, good.
before we get into the conversation for today, as always, when I go live, I have to give a shout out to my mentor. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling life together for 30 plus years. And the reason why I talk about Dr. Hunt is because I'm trying to encourage people to get a mentor. You know, mentors are very valuable, especially in this day and age. You need someone that can steer you, lead you in the right direction when you need someone to be there for you. He has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to both him and his family. So get you a mentor and then get you a show and shout them out. You know, that's the way you do that. So Mayor Alsberry and I ran into each other at a networking event on this past weekend, and we got to talking. And he said, "Well, hey man, I'd like to come on. Well, my regular show, Ask Dr.Ron, is booked up all the way till next month." But I said, you know what? I got a whole network I can work with. Let's go over here to Street News Now and put some programming up over here. So, as always, he and I are friends. We're brothers, and he has a special place in my heart always. And I always like to give him an opportunity to speak his piece when he needs to. So, as you can see, he got all these initials on the back of his name. So, he got so many things that he can talk about. So, today, we're going to open up the floor and let you talk about what's on your heart today.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ron. I appreciate you having me on your show today. And yeah, we had that great conversation at that meet and greet that we were at, is just talking about government and how government plays a role in people's lives and some of the things that were going on in Hazel Crest. But during that conversation, we also talked a little bit about healthcare. I think we all, as many Black folks have a lot of health issues that we deal with as we get older. I'm a type 2 diabetic. I just had a hip replacement about 8 months ago, up and running around. Being a physical therapist assistant, I did the pre-ops, and so I healed pretty well. But also the last 4 years, a lot of people may know, and a lot of people don't know. My wife passed away about 4 years ago from leukemia. She was also, we ran a physical therapy company together. But during my journey and my grieving, initially you're just kind of out there. You're not really taking care of yourself. You're trying to find your way. But what I found is that with my type 2 diabetes, I was just eating inappropriately. You got somebody, a partner to help you stay focused. You tend to eat right, do right. But I kind of fall off the wagon a little bit. My A1C got pretty high. I'm like a 7.5. I wasn't really monitoring my sugar like I should. And I was busy. I kind of filled my time with a lot of organizations and things. But I went to the doctor's office one day and see how my A1C was. And I said, wow, I got to do something to change. I met a young lady who was a friend of mine, who was working on some projects with me. And she was a vegetarian. She said, no, maybe you change your diet some. That'll help bring your numbers down. At that time, I was weighing about 184 or 185, which I thought was a good weight for me. But it's not when you're like 5, 6.5. But I did begin that journey with some help. Just, first we just clean out a lot of stuff out the house, cold cereal, 100% vitamin D milk, got rid of sugar. And I started to eating better. So what I did was start just doing, it was right around Thanksgiving. So I started to eat more turkey and not any fried meat, converted from red meat totally right away, and started to eat mostly poultry, chicken and fish, and make sure anything wasn't fried. Then I just stopped sugar, which was very hard. Sugar is very addictive.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I put away sugar. That was like I felt like I was having withdrawal symptoms, which I really was. because you get so that you put a little sugar on everything. But I started eating more fruit, not a lot, but being type, and watching my medications. I started exercising, basically walking, and I did that for about 6 months. This, with the help of the doctor who was helping with the process, and I think some months went by. I was hanging out with some friends of mine, and one person mentioned, said, "Why are you wearing those big old clothes?" I said, "What are you talking about? You know how guys are. We just put anything on."
Right.
I said, "This is what I've been wearing." He said, "Well, whatever you're wearing doesn't fit anymore." So I hadn't got on the scale or anything, Dr. Ron. Didn't think about it. I thought I was wearing my little suits and going to my mayor's meetings, but I got on the scale and I had dropped from like 184, 185. I was down to like 170.
Wow.
And didn't even realize. So I was losing weight normally without exercising, without doing any kind of real diet. I just had to change my day-to-day eating habits and my diet as far as food, types of food I was consuming. I was eating more salads. I was eating more, like I said, more poultry, mostly grilled or baked. I was eating more fish. As a matter of fact, I had started eating these. I looked up how to make a pizza out of mushrooms. I got the big portobello mushrooms, clean them out,
Yeah.
put a little sauce on there, put a little cheese on it, and then put a little chicken on it and stuck it in the oven. And man, it was delicious. So I was just experimenting with different foods and found that it had a great effect on my weight. And then I went to the physician. I had my doctor, so I was due to go back and have my A1C taken. This had been 4 months down the road, almost about 6 months. And my A1C had dropped drastically from 7.5 to 6.5, which is huge. And I had got off. He had cut me back on my metformin because I was taking metformin. I was up there. I was taking almost 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 in the afternoon.
Wow.
And he dropped me down to 5.5. He said, "You don't need to take all that metformin anymore." So that has been my journey since almost just about 3.5 years now. And now, as of today, and working with exercising more, really changed my diet where I really don't eat any. I eat fish maybe once a week, but I don't eat any chicken, any red meat. And my weight now, I weigh about 160. My A1C is about 6.0. I've been doing very well as far as my exercise regime. I exercise 3 times a week. Energy levels up. My waist went from about a 36. My waist now is like a 30, 31. So it's drastic change. And matter of fact, last year, the Village of Hazel Crest, we did last year we did a plant-based health fair along with our Hazelnut Fest. We do our annual Hazelnut Fest.
Okay, yeah.
And so, no, not last year before last.
Okay.
So we did a Hazelnut Fest, and I invited, what's my girl that's on Channel 7? I just had it in my phone. Invited her out to actually talk about
Tracy Chapman.
Oh, not Tracy. The one that was on Channel 7 with the program. Oh, I got it right here. One second. Here it is. Here, we did a plant-based diet and health festival, and we did it with my girl. There she go, Val Warner.
Oh,
one
Val.
of the guests.
Yeah.
Dr. Terry Mason.
Yeah, Val.
Dr. Terry Mason is a guy that's big on. He's a total vegetarian. I'm not, but he's big on healthy diets. He's a urologist. He was a guy. He says he used to eat 2 steaks a day when he was the head of Cook County's Department of Public Health. He was the head of that department for many, many years. And he said, "Yeah, I had 2 steaks a day. I had one for breakfast and I had one for dinner." And he said he went to one of his cardiologists. He's having pain. And the guy said, "Man, you need a bypass." He said,
Wow.
Bypass, man. He said, "No, you need bypass surgery or you about to die."
Wow.
So he agreed to have a stent put in, but he agreed to change his diet. And he's been on this journey of educating, especially communities of color, about changing their diets.
Right.
So this plant-based health fair we did was very successful. We had vendors from all over with plant-based products, talking about exercise and yoga, and we had a great concert along with that.
Right.
So I've been on this journey, and I talk about it now because I'm doing more and more research on, how do we keep ourselves healthy as we age. And Dr. Joel Furman, who has a book out, Eat to Live, was, I've been kind of I scammed through it before, but now I'm taking it a little bit more seriously and kind of reading what he's talking about. And because I've been on this journey just kind of working on my own, but I found out that, what we eat, it makes a big difference in our day to day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, on your success story. I have also been plant-based diet myself,
Oh, okay.
for quite a long time. I gave up meat probably about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I attribute the way I am now to still being alive, okay?
Wow.
Because it does make a difference. I got so many aches and pains and so many near death experience in my testimony. I tell people all the time, I'm just still glad to be here,
Mm,
you know, because that is what I need to do is be here,
right.
So I thank God that I am still here, you
I
know.
thank God for that also, Dr. Ron.
Yeah, buddy, because there's so many people that have had experiences, man, that it don't take much. I can tell you, brother, it is a rough journey.
Mm,
Okay, it's a rough journey. But even with COVID came along, people
yes.
with underlying health conditions
Mm,
that did not pay attention to what was going on. Now they realize, wow, this is seriously a bad situation. If you got, like you say, you're on metformin has side effects that are so
mm,
dangerous to folks that they don't pay attention to.
that's right.
So it's wow, it's just unbelievable. All of the things that we don't know. And we can make adjustments. Now I know you retired from your physical therapy company.
Hmm.
So, are you still affiliated with the organization that you had put together for the Black physical therapists?
Oh yes, I stay involved with them. We still need that. We need people of color to be in, especially Black people involved in the field of physical therapy. I found it as a very successful career. We ran a great business out of it, my wife and I. That group, which was started here in the city of Chicago, the American Academy of Physical Therapy, almost 30 years ago. As far
Okay.
as time flies. And this group of Black physical therapists across the nation, our sole goal is to increase the numbers of physical therapists and physical therapist assistants who are in the field, because we're the ones that help with the rehab, post stroke, post heart attack, post amputation, from back pain to shoulder pain and exercise.
Yeah.
We are, over my 36 years of practicing, first in the military, and after 9.5 years in the military, and 6 of those years being in physical therapy, getting out into civilian world and working for Mercy Hospital for 2 years, and then leaving, going from there to advocate. In between owning our own company, we advocate for more and more uh, Black folks to be in the field of physical therapy. We're the ones who have all these underlying issues. When after you have a stroke, how do you get rehab?
Right.
And that's important. And prevention. We do big with prevention to make sure people stay healthy. And we're actually pushing more into the prevention area, more so than the rehab area. Which
Yes.
I am, as I stay involved and continue to hold my license as a physical therapist assistant.
So, do they have in the South suburban area aqua therapy? Because that's a real big one. A lot of people can't handle physical therapy in the
Hmm.
regular, I would call it laboratory.
Right.
Where they go in there, beat you up, and then
Or in the
send you out
gym,
the
they call
door.
it physical terrorists. Yeah.
Yeah, brother. So, do they
Yeah,
have
they do.
aqua therapy? Because that
Yes.
would attract probably more people,
Mhm.
because insurances are so finicky about what they'll pay for, what they won't pay for. So, do they have those in the area?
Yeah, well, the premier one that actually makes it make aquatherapy part of their treatment plan is South Advocate South Suburban Hospital.
Okay.
They're the only one that has a built-in pool in their physical therapy department. I used to work in that department. I was there when they built their department out, and I was part of the aquatherapy team back then. So they still have it there. They still treat patients with knee replacements, back problems. They do actually. You can get a prescription from your physician for the physical therapist to take you into the pool. So that's a great entity and something that we have amenity that we have here in the village of Hazelcrest, because South Suburban Advocate Hospital is located in Hazelcrest. That's how people realize. So we do have aquatherapy here, but they do also have a water program. I don't think it's aquatherapy, but they do have therapists and occupational therapists who work at the fitness center at Prairie State College, or across the street from Prairie State College.
Okay.
Now they have a huge pool there where they individuals can go in and actually exercise in the pool. I think they run an exercise program out of that pool also. That's the two places I know of. Now I know Governor State used to have a pool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been out there in a while. That's my alumni. I'm an alum of Governor State University. They used to have a pool there because I remember my son was playing for Crete. Football for Crete, I took him there to rehab. I took him to the pool. We did some running and exercises in there. So those are three places I know for sure that provide not maybe aquatherapy. Aquatherapy is definitely in South Suburban Hospital and definitely at Prairie State's College's fitness center across the street there on Halsted. And then you have the pool out at Governor State University.
Okay.
So yeah, we do have them amenities out here.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So now, I know you didn't want to talk about politics too much.
We'll always talk about politics, though. That's not a problem.
We got a few minutes left in this broadcast. I gotta ask you. I know you got your issues in your backyard, but taking a look at what's happening in the election in Chicago. Now, you being a committeeman, and you've got your ear to the ground, you hear a lot of things. So what do you think is really going on behind the scenes and what's likely to happen next week? Because the election is next week.
Election next week. Well, the race was initially Vallis was up on the polling, and it was basically he's a lead and a lot of support. But right now it's dead even.
Right.
The numbers look dead even. It's going to be an interesting election. I think that was really interesting. Both of them are from Chicago Public School System. One's the teacher and one who ran the system. You have Vallis, who left Chicago for a while, who was in New Orleans, and I think he was somewhere around the Boston area, and he came back to run for mayor. You have my brother, who was a Cook County commissioner.
Right.
And who was a school teacher for a short period of time. And I know him. I mean, we've had sit down and had conversations because I ran for Cook County Commissioner, last term, and I had a conversation with him. And he's a West Side guy, raised his kid in the hood. So I mean, it's an interesting race. I don't know how it's going to break out racially because you have the old school political players are falling behind Vallis, but Brandon, has some of the new school folks falling behind him, and some of the younger players falling behind him. It's going to be a hard choice for the city of Chicago. I'm a firm believer that, and I know how Chicago people may feel that, Life Fisher did 2 terms. It's hard to rebuild. She had a lot of good stuff going on. People didn't think it. She went through COVID. Oh my God!
Yes.
Anybody who could survive through COVID. Some people like her rough edges sometimes, but hey, Chicago's not a town you could be. You can't be a lackadaisical and afraid person to be in the mayor of Chicago.
That's right.
Saying that, she's not on the ballot.
Right.
Brandon and Vallis are both on the ballot. I think we're going to see a change. Whoever wins is going to be a change. Yeah. How that change affects people, I don't have a choice in the race because I can't vote in the race.
Right.
But I do have concerns with Vallis being so close to the police department, not enforcing, not in favor of the Safety Act. That's a big issue with me. I don't believe that people should have to pay a bond to prove that they're innocent. I've had a Many of my friends who spent months, not years, in Cook County Jail just because they didn't have $1,000 to get out. But doesn't our system says you're innocent before proven guilty? Not
Supposedly.
that you're guilty until you got money.
Right. That's
So
right.
you're locked up because you don't have money. And I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't have money for bail, because if you got money, you're the state time in jail. So that's a big issue with me. So I'll just put it out there like that. I am big favor of the Safety Act. We need to tweak it some, but we need to change it because it's not fair to us.
Right.
And,
It's interesting, and I just state the obvious that the police union, came out in support of Alice right away.
mm-hmm.
And we know the police union is very racist,
Yeah.
very Nazi orientated, you know, and they stand behind Trump, and Republican Party. And then they invited Santos from
Yes.
Florida
Yeah.
up here.
Trying to change history. Like Black history is not really Black history.
Right. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Now, this guy is supporting an organization that really doesn't have a good history with dealing with Black folks. I remember when they were having protests, Black Lives Matter protests. And it was a young lady that was Black that was kneeling outside of the police union headquarters in uniform. And they kicked out the union because she was Black.
Mm.
They're like, oh, no, you can't do this, especially in front of our headquarters.
Mm.
So they have their very hard line of what they believe in and what they feel. And anybody that believes that, they got a right to be racist if they want to. They got a right to go to DC and try to take over the United States of America if they want to. And most of them that have that opinion did.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of too close, to those people that are associated with those type of ideologies. It's just like they asked the question. City Council asked the question, do we have members on the police department that are members of the Proud Boys? And the answer was yes. Well, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? You can't have a person that's supposed to serve and protect everybody, a member of a hate group.
I agree.
And they felt like it was okay. Oh yeah, it's okay. It's all right. No, it ain't. You know. Now I know I'm gonna slide this in. Recently, people of the same mentality have made some attacks against your administration. And
Yeah.
and it's crazy because your city really does not need to be under attack from those type of people. Yeah, I said it out loud. Go ahead, bro.
Well, we annexed the Calumet Country Club. They fought vehemently for us not to do that. They call it the no truck people, no trucks. But as I try to educate my residents, and some residents don't want to hear it because it's coming from me. And if it comes from them, it's okay. It's true. If it comes from me, it can't be true. That the person who owned the property, even though they wanted trucks in Homewood, he asked to annex into Hazelcrest. He annexed into Hazelcrest. There was a proposal on the table about how they want to bring in a hotel, condo, water park, football field, and they wanted to bring some storage there, which they consider trucking. But as we move that into Hazelcrest, it comes into Hazelcrest as a residential by law. And then we have to go to the citizens and actually lay the plans out to the residents, to the planning and zoning board for we'll make a decision. They sound like we made a decision already. So they say, well, you already decided you're going to be trucking. We can't make that decision because it has not became before the citizens. We have presented to the citizens once it was annexed into Hazelcrest, one developers what they would like to do with that property. We presented, hey, this is what they're talking about doing. Explain it. And only reason we did that because the citizens from Homewood who don't live in Hazelcrest were saying what we were going to do. And I don't know how they know what we were going to do when we don't even know what we're going to do yet.
Right.
And so they came to my village board meetings. They fell on the floor. We had to carry some out. They called me a criminal. They said, I took bribes. All this because we brought 130 some acres of property into Hazelcrest. That's all we did right now. That's right. That's it. That's all we can do right now. But from the narrative, even they involved in our election process. Anybody who voted to bring in Hazelcrest, we're going to get you unelected. So they talking to people in the community, telling them we bring in trucks in the town. And we do have some Black folks in our community bring in trucks in town. That is a definitive thing that's coming, which this process, almost a year process to decide what comes there. And those of you who know, it was some years back. I use this as a narrative. Mayor Welch was going to bring a outlet mall to Country Club Hills.
Right.
And the statue thing came out, outlet mall was coming. And developments change all the time. It never happened because we couldn't get the development behind it. The land was never used for that. So that development never happened. Same here. This is just, what they would like to do, but it's not what may happen, may or may not happen. But that's a discussion for the citizens of Hazelcrest, for us to talk to them about it, discuss it. But if you listen to some people who are not like me for years, they will tell you that it's coming. They got a trucking place coming. No, there's nothing coming yet. It's all speculation. And it has to go through the board. And it has to be presented to the citizen. And it has to go to planning and zoning. It's a process.
So it's a long way.
It's a long way off.
Reality.
But the great thing is that Hazelcrest has grown by 130 acres. We were landlocked. We didn't have nowhere to go. We had nowhere to grow. We had nowhere to develop a tax base. We had nothing. And now we're able to look at this property and say, wow, we have a chance to grow. We have a chance to move Hazelcrest wherever it may be and build economic development, lower our property taxes, because taxes are killing us out here, and to bring something new and improved to citizens, not only for us who live here today, but this is about who's going to be here in the future.
Absolutely.
So young folks going to be in the future. We all stuck on what's going to happen tomorrow. But no, tomorrow's not a promise to any of us. But we do have to look at the future of a community, and that's what I always have done in the village of Hazelcrest, and we'll continue to do, even with opposition from people who are, calling me names and saying things that people should, usually wouldn't say. And we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that update. I appreciate that. Anytime you want to come back and hang out with us, you're more than welcome. We appreciate you and all that you have done and all that you do. It's not easy being in public service, and some people just think, that, you just wake up and you know what to do. No, you've been doing this for a while. And I might say you're quite good at it. Now, I don't live in this town and he ain't paying me no money, but I can say those things because I've been a friend.
Yes.
For quite a while. And I appreciate all that he has done for his people and the affiliations and the associations that he have. So I appreciate you. If anybody's interested in having a show here on Street News Now, please reach out, go over to streetnewsnow.com, fill out the form, say, hey, I would like to have a show on this network, and we will find a time slot for you. Somebody in administration will get back in touch with you and help you develop what you need to develop on this network. We got a lot of time slots open, so feel free to go fill out the information and let us know what you're trying to do. If you want to be a reporter for this network, we're glad to have you. You can come on board, and if you see something happening in the street, you can report it right here on Street News Now, and we'll give you an opportunity to be able to do such a thing. So before we get out of here today, what do you want to leave with the people, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I just want to say, first, Dr. Ron, thank you for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure talking with you and in a formal setting, because we always talk in a non-formal setting, which is okay. But I just want to let people know that try to keep your health up, kind of watch what you eat, get some exercise in. COVID has taught us one thing, that, you can get sick and pass away, not because just of COVID, because where your pre-existing health issues are. And so, as you said, Dr. Ron, let's try to take care of ourselves. Let's reset ourselves. we've been set to eat things and do things that as we look back on it, was not the best thing to do. So if we're still here today, still alive today, you can always reset, because that's what human beings do. We can reset, readjust, and move forward. So I suggest that you do that.
Absolutely. And once again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Share the information, spread it out all over the place so that people can see what's going on over here in Street News Now. So, peace. See y'all next time.
Thank you, Ron.